One particularly challenging and interesting case that I took care of along with my partners was a very nice woman who had a severe spinal deformity in both her neck and her back. So she couldn't look up into people's eyes or forward or up at the sky at all. She also had this on top of a long-standing deformity in her torso where she was essentially bent over at the waist, and so she was almost twisted like a pretzel. When Dr. Lucas came to me with this patient with such a severe spinal deformity, he wasn't sure whether this surgery could be done by anybody successfully. What he did know, though, was that we are the only place in the state at the Lifespan Orthopedic Institute that can take care of problems this complex in the spine. In fact, we're one of the very few centers in New England or even the country that's able to take care of spinal deformity of this severity. He came to me in the office and he said, "You've got to see this woman." I met her, I met the family, we spent time discussing, of course, the very risky nature of the procedure to try to fix her, and all decided together that we would embark upon trying to do this. And we planned a 3-stage operation where we would do 3 separate major surgeries to realign her spine and get the pressure off of the spinal cord. For the first one, we made an incision on the front of her neck where you remove an entire vertebral body in front of the spinal cord, the breathing tube and the esophagus or the swallowing tube out of the way, and then you resect an entire bone out of the front of the neck to access the spinal cord. Once we had done that, we were able to improve the alignment somewhat. On the second part of that same operation, we flipped her over face down and make a lengthy incision all the way from her skull down to her upper back, exposing her entire cervical spine. And then we placed screws within the bones and cut out small wedges of bone from each joint in the back of the neck. And finally, at the end, basically pulled her chin off of her chest to get her to be able to look forward straight again and then lock that in with screws and rods. It's a very complex surgery to get through. It's almost like when we talk about people learning to walk again, she had to learn to swallow again. Once she was recovered over the course of about a week, we then prepared her and planned for a posterior thoracolumbar osteotomy. We take out of the spine more in the middle to the low back to allow her to actually stand up straight. Fortunately, we were able to get her through all 3 of these operations without any major complications in surgery. She spent a very prolonged period of time in a rehab facility due to the really unusual nature. Most patients with spinal deformity can get through even large operations with a relatively rapid recovery using a lot of modern techniques we have. But this was just such a severe problem that it really was a 1-year recovery process. And the best part was this time the same woman standing up straight with a big smile on her face. I have some great before and after photographs of the dramatic transformation we were able to achieve.